Placements are done. The bracket came and went, and shit, mine wasn't really all half that bad. In all honesty, it kind of came out pretty good. And I had faith in those console squads like none of you people did. Respect the console team. They didn't make it, so I guess, like, fuck me in the end, right? But, you know who did make it? Sanguine and SK Gaming. Everybody collects their free SK Gaming chips. Sanguine surprised a couple of people. Sanguine surprised me. Fuck it. That was great placements. Those are the teams going to Worlds. And now that we know who's going to Worlds, let's take a look at Worlds in general. This is what we're looking at here. Team Rival versus Sanguine. Sanguine made it through placements. Dig plays Knights. Splice versus SK. SK made it through placements. Renegades United. So we'll start up at the top. Team Rival versus Sanguine. Sanguine surprised a lot of people. Now don't forget, Sanguine are without their support player Hardcore. They brought Haddix, and Haddix has worked behind the scenes, both Hardcore and Oxy, their coach. And they've worked really, really hard to become, honestly, a really good team. Everybody around this, we look at Shinto, we look at Netrioid as being good and kind of standout players here. And we look at my support player. That man is Rongyu is crushing it. That's the guy to look at here for Sanguine. Sanguine have a reasonable mountain to climb. I think there's a world where Sanguine can kind of beat Team Rival, but I don't think that world is the one that we live in. And so I'm sorry. Sanguine gave me a lot of shit this week for not believing in them and not having them, saying that they were going to get knocked out first round. And Sanguine gave me a lot of shit for that. Every time I saw them, they were like, yeah. And so, you know what? I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I mean, this team definitely, it is a bigger look here. Team Rival probably will beat Sanguine. There is a chance. I'm saying a solid 20% chance, especially since these are best of threes. 20% chance that Sanguine beats Team Rival. It will be tough. If anybody's going to drop, it'd be United. But Team Rival is probably number 2 for teams that would drop to a placement team. So I do think Rival wind up there. Next up is actually really interesting because Dignitas is very rarely, if ever, my favorite for winning a world championship. These guys traditionally, and you know, Trix Tank and Cuvo Fred, they're the shit. Love them, etc. They haven't won anything since launch tournament. They choke a lot, and choke is... I'm not talking 1 land, 2 land, 3 land. This team repeatedly has trouble in the postseason, when you've got to step up and put up. But they're also up against Pittsburgh Knights. The Knights are playing with Coach Rowe. Rowe was a fine player in his region. Reed, big fish, little pond. I don't really think that I don't think Rowe is a competitive enough performer here. Like, sure, they got some nice looks at the end of the regular season, but Rowe is going head-to-head against fucking Variety. Like, let's just be real here. Variety takes this. Team Dignitas, we'll see how they work out. But I do think Team Dignitas here winds up taking that and goes to the semifinals. The bottom side. This is pretty simple to me. SK Gaming looked really clean at placements. That's because I think there are many different breakdowns, but let's look here. Realistically, when you're talking about teams, you're talking about that's the wrong one. You're talking about your Worlds teams, your placement teams, and SK Gaming. SK Gaming right in the middle to be a significant jump above that bottom team, but right in the middle to be a significant jump below that team. And so Splice come in and they just sort of do it to them. The defending world champs, really, really good. And then up next, Renegades and E United. I don't have faith in E United. I don't think they are a good team. Renegades take this spot just like that. This is my finals. I am so glad this is best of 5 because this is going to be the most exciting match to watch. Renegades versus Splice. These are the big boys. These teams are going to win. Dignitas and Rival, I mean, sure, somebody's got to win there. So pick one. Rival, I guess. This matchup, Team Rival versus Dignitas, really comes down to who's playing the LAN meta the best. I think Dignitas have had some struggles along the way. Team Rival seem iffy at times. A lot of people like to point to Arkle. I don't really point to Arkle. I point to not Captain Twig, but the Team Rival jungle. And that's a different that's an interesting thing to say. I think Captain Twig plays fine. Captain Twig builds interestingly. I don't always love it. I don't always hate it. Captain Twig's God pool is very, very wide because he's an interesting player. But I think what Rival chooses to do with their jungler, meaning Captain Twig does his role as dictated correctly, but perhaps they should be doing something different. I don't always like the way that Rival plays around their jungler or with their jungler or whatnot. And Team Dignitas historically has had trouble at LAN. Realistically, I do think Team Rival maybe a step above when we talk about what's going on. I love Panda Cat. I love Arkle, believe it or not. I think he's really good. And what we get out of Polar Bear Mike is very, very strong. So I do think Team Rival win against Dignitas, but it almost, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but Splice and Renegades are my two top teams for this tournament. And here's an interesting thing. Splice might be able to beat Renegades. Best of 5 will be tough. And like I said, this match is the most important one. Splice here and Renegades here. This is the most important match. I really believe whoever wins this match wins it all. Scream. Is Scream the best player in the world right now? I think he is. And if Scream is allowed to be Scream and do Scream things, then Splice go ahead and win. But if Renegades can figure out a way to keep Scream at bay, then Renegades take this and they take it all, honestly. I think this is very, very likely that we see Renegades just take this, but it has everything to do with Renegade's ability to deal with Scream. If Scream is allowed to just be Scream, then Splice take this and take the tournament. If Scream can be kept at bay, then Renegades win it. And I really and truly think that Renegades are a team that can learn, adapt, adjust, take this, and then take this set. So my prediction is Renegades take the World Championship. I think it has everything to do with them being a full, united team. Renegades need to take care of Aurora, and I think that Raffer can really do that. And Renegades need to take care of Scream, and I'm not so sure they can do that. That'll be tough. Scream's fucking insane. And so you got to watch out for that. You got to be careful for that. You got to make sure that you're dealing with that. Renegades are my official prediction, but don't be surprised when Splice take it off of some hot shit. I forgot Worlds was Friday. I thought it was next Friday, so I got a lot to do. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun shit. Vote for me on Reddit. Vote for me for president. You know, do all that shit. Follow me over here, down here. Follow me over here. Don't follow me home. And MetaThreads. MetaThreads.com. Use code FDOT. Save you some money. Give me some money. Keeps the lights on, both in the apartment and behind my eyes. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching and all that shit. See you, worlds. Wait. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm getting better at this.